But our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic.
Which makes them not shenanigans at all, really.
Evil shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Hey, Farva, what's the name of that restaurant you like with all the goofy shit on the walls and the mozzarella sticks? You mean Shenanigans? Oh! You're talking about Shenanigans, right?
Put those away!
Hey everybody, this is Ozone from RadarDetectorForum.org, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to install a radar detector or a laser jammer by hardwiring it into your car. Now, first off, you have to figure out what fuse you have in your car. The one on the right is called a mini fuse, and the one on the left is called an ATO fuse. Now, you can easily differentiate the two by the size. So the one on the left is about the size of a quarter, which is called an ATO fuse, as I said, and the one on the right is a mini fuse, which is about the size of a penny. Now, once you figure out what size fuse you have in your car, the next thing you have to do is buy what's called an adder circuit. An adder circuit looks like this. It's also an adder circuit, or a fuse tap is also called. Pretty much what you have to do is you'll be removing the fuse from the car and just adding the adder circuit inside of the fuse which you just removed, and then taking power from the fuse. I'll go into a little bit more detail about that in a minute. Then the next thing you need is your hot wire, your positive wire from the electronic that you're going to be using. So I have my laser interceptor CPU over here, which is just a spare one I have lying around. You're going to be taking the positive one from that, and you'll be in essence just connecting it to your adder circuit. And then you'll have obviously your ground, which will be connected to the ground. And then I'll pretty much just show you guys how to do that and give you guys some tips on how to hardwire it inside of the car by, going along the A-pillar and such things along like that. Okay, see you soon. Just to go into a little bit more detail about the adder circuit, I found the adder circuit lacked any instructions on how to use it, so I'm just going to go over the essentials on what you should know and how to use it. So to begin, down at the bottom here is where the adder circuit plugs into the fuse box. And then we have the second slot up here is where the original fuse from the fuse box goes. So say for example you're taking power from your stereo. What you have to do is, if it's a 10 amp fuse, you take the 10 amp fuse from the fuse box and you plug it into the bottom slot down here. And then for the top slot, say for example you're powering a Valentine 1 or a laser interceptor or any electronic, you don't want to generally use more than 2 amps. 1 or 2 is generally fine. So what you do is then you take you have to go out and buy a 2 amp fuse or a 1 amp fuse, or pretty much any size fuse depending on the number of electronics. You wouldn't want to do more than 5 amps. And then you take that fuse and you put it into the top. And then we have over here, which is the wire that it connects off of. That is where we're going to be getting our power. So what you pretty much have to do is, say for example I have my LI CPU over here. What we do is we take the hot wire, make sure it's the hot wire because you don't want to reverse polarity it. You take the wires and you just kind of twist them together or solder them together. And then after that you go ahead and connect the ground to the ground, and then you have electricity. I'll go into more detail about actually connecting them and figuring out which fuse is going to have continuous electricity, or one with the switched ignition. When you turn off your car, the electricity turns off, because you don't really want your battery being drained because your radar detector, your laser jammer, is constantly on. So right now I'm just under the dash of my car where the fuse box is located. After you locate the fuse that you're going to be removing, you just add it to the adder circuit, and then you plug the adder circuit in with the correct fuse sizes that I mentioned before. Make sure that you do use the fuse. Say for example mine is fuse 6 for my power windows, which is the tap that I'm going to be getting power off of. And then If that doesn't work, say for example you get power but it's constantly on, you just might have to go ahead and figure out another source. Maybe for your stereo will usually switch on and off. 9 times out of 10, most cars will actually have one that turns on and off with the car. So pretty much what I'm just doing is just taking the out of circuit, like I said earlier, and I'm just plugging it in. And once it's plugged in, just remember you have to connect the ground to a ground wire. Make sure the car's off before you go ahead and connect the ground wire. Actually, in all honesty, you should connect the ground wire before you even plug in the electricity. Just so you're not possibly going to blow the fuse right off the bat. And then next thing I'm going to show you guys is how to access the firewall in case you're installing a laser jammer. And then the next thing after that is I'm going to show you how to run the wires along the A-pillar and just some general tips on how to hide the wires to make it look like a cleaner install. I seem to always find that the hardest thing to do when installing a laser jammer is figure out where the hole is in the firewall. Generally you can just go ahead and Google around with the make and model of your car and see where other people have run their wires. Generally people will go ahead and try and gain power off of the battery to supply power to their amps. So it's actually quite common for people to run wires through the firewall. If you're the unlucky person that actually has to drill a hole in their firewall, I've never personally done that, but I'm sure there's a few tutorials out there on how to do that. For the hole in my firewall, I just ended up finding a grommet. A grommet is like a little rubber weatherproof seal so water doesn't get into the car. You can usually pull those back and go ahead and run wires through it. What you want to do is running the wires, you pretty much just tape the end of the cord or the wire to the coat hanger. And you shove the coat hanger through the hole and then it will pop out through the other side and you just untape the wire and connect it to your CPU. For mine, I have my firewall hole there. Trying to give you guys a better view. Anyway, so I have the wires running through there. This is on the passenger side. And then pretty much what you do is you just go inside of the car and then you connect them to the CPU. The next most important thing is going ahead and mounting the laser jammer heads. Right now I only have them temporarily connected with 3M tape. They're straight and level. You always want to make sure they're straight and level. And then I have 2 on the inside of my headlights. So I have one there and then I have another one over here. Anyways, the key part for that is remember to keep them straight, level, and square with the road. For those of you that want to have a radar detector like mine that is mounted on the top of the windshield here, what you want to do is you want to take the wire and run it up along the top here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and try and take the A-pillar off. What I suggest is you Google around on how to take the A-pillar off for your particular vehicle. Usually you might be able to squeeze it down where the windshield and the A-pillar meet and push it inside of it. Sometimes, like for my car in particular, I actually had to take the A-pillar off in order to get the wire down there. For mine, I actually ended up having to just pry it off. You don't want to do that for every car, just in case there is some screws attaching the A-pillar. You don't want to break those. You don't want to force it. So just Google around, figure out how to take the A-pillar off. For mine, I've already just kind of removed it. And then here I have the wire connecting along here, going down, and that's my STIR plus antenna, which I've casually just kind of placed along in there. And then the wires go along down through here. You can see the wire kind of hanging out here. I left that out there on purpose. And then what you do is you just kind of push it along there, and then sorry for going sideways on you, and then it pops out underneath where I have all my electronic wiring, which is right there. Eventually I have to cover all that up, but I have a lot of the wiring down under here, and then I have my police scanner, which is also wired up, and then I have my blinder CPU for the back of my car wired up, and it all eventually comes in down under here. Yeah, so I hope that this little tutorial wasn't very professional of me, but I hope it gave you guys a general idea on how to hardwire your radar detector into your car, or how to install a laser jammer and all that fun stuff. Hope you liked it.